they don't use it for anything anymore, and so like they
Yeah.
don't take care of it, and like they do like monster truck things down there a lot.
Yeah.
Because we sat 4 rows from the field because Andy got us good seats. There's dirt like on all the seats. Like they don't clean it.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
literally like dirty. Like I mean, not like that. I mean,
No,
like
I get it. Yeah.
it was
I mean,
dirt.
yeah.
I'm like, Pam, there's like dirt everywhere. She's like, yeah, they do monster truck show like things in here. I'm like, oh my god, we're
But
sitting.
that's where the Blues play too, though, right? Or
No, the Blues play like down the street in a place called the
oh,
Enterprise
for some
Center.
reason I thought that was where they played too. Okay.
No, it's a lot smaller. Yeah, because that place holds like 60,000, 65,000. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's basically it's our big convention center. It's just it's the biggest of the halls.
Mm-hmm.
But it's filthy. And like the scoreboards, I mean, you can tell like they haven't used it since the Rams moved. Like it has no middle scoreboard, like like most of the stadiums have now. There's nothing over the field, and there's only like two like video boards at each end of the field, and they're teeny tiny. I mean, it's like you're looking at like little TVs hanging on the wall.
That's funny.
They're like what you see in stadiums nowadays.
Yeah.
Even at Mizzou. Hey everybody, getting ready to do a live call-in show. I keep thinking there's something outside my window, but we have this big like elephant ear plant and it keeps blowing in the wind. I'm like, somebody's like coming in. Somebody. Yeah, I just saw Katie was down at Walt Disney World with a friend. I saw her down there. Andrea, hello.
So I was just driving. So Emily and her friends went to like a band concert at the Warden Center, which is like a hall, like at Michigan State's campus. So we went and picked her up. Like, dude, the trees are already popping on campus. Like, it was like one of the most gorgeous days I've ever seen on campus was today. I was like, dang, I should have like just went for a walk or something, out there. It was just gorgeous.
Wasn't it like that on your golf course?
Not really. That's what's weird. Like, it was like, but there's like there's certain trees that are popping on campus. But I was kind of like on the western part of the state today, and it really wasn't like that today. It was weird.
That's weird.
Yeah. I mean, the pop isn't supposed to really happen for like another 3 weeks, like the peak color. But man, on campus, like it's already hidden there. It seems like.
Yeah, we haven't got much yet here. We're still green. I mean, today it's 80. It was 87, so it's still hot. Do. Go Dolphins. A good day to be a Dolphins fan. Bad day to be a Broncos fan. All right, let's do this. We could talk Disney. We could talk football. We could talk whatever you want. Both. All right, here we go. Did I hit that? Yes, I did. I think the phone lines are plugged in. Glad to have everybody here. Got people from all over the place. New Hampshire. Makes me want some maple syrup. Massachusetts.
That's a state I forget about sometimes. Like if I had to do like a list them all 1 through 50, like that's one I think I forget about.
I only know
Jessica. I got her. Now I'm going to remember Jessica because you live there. But
so my grandparents used to drive up to Nova Scotia in the fall for like a few years in a row. They did that, and they'd always bring me back maple syrup from New Hampshire. And the way I remembered it when I eventually showed my kids when I taught 6th grade, like so we do geography. In Vermont, New Hampshire, they always got messed up because I always gave them a quiz over the 50 states, and it always missed those two. But Vermont on the map is like shaped like a V. Like if you look at it, it kind of looks like a V. And New Hampshire's, I would have said New Hampshire's the other one.
The other one. There you go.
Vermont looks like the V, and New Hampshire's the other one. It's not the one that looks like a V. So that's how.
There it is.
That's how a teacher in Missouri teaches that. I don't know how you teach Missouri and New Hampshire, but whatever it takes. They got it right. We're not talking about Lawrence. We sang Mr. Brightside last night at the Dome, by the way, and we're both 4-0, but we don't play each other. So anyway, all right, here we go. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP Open Line for Sunday night, September 24th, 2023. It is time to take your calls for the next hour at 407-413-9395, 407-413-9395. Again, it's the Be Our Guest Podcast Open Line, where we turn the show over to you once a week here every Sunday night. We are broadcasting live from the Be Our Guest Podcast studios in lovely St. Peters, Missouri, and with my co-host, who is broadcasting from his awesome studio up in wonderful East Lansing, Michigan. Say hello to your friend and mine, Scotty G. What's up, Scott?
Hey, Mike, we've seen some better days in East Lansing than we have recently. But yes, it's a beautiful day here. I'm happy to be talking with you today on this beautiful Sunday. But I did want to give a shout out, and I'm going to leave some people out, and I apologize, but got to give a shout out to our great friend Phil. And I know Kelly and Ray were out there too. They just did the Berlin Marathon today.
Yep.
Like, mad props to them. I know we had a few other lizards out there, so kudos to you. You all crushed it today. Congratulations, and have a beer on me. That was an awesome race.
My wife in the last 15 minutes just said, as she was sitting on the couch, she goes, Mike, did you know Phil just ran a marathon in Berlin? I said, yes, I did. I said, is that not awesome? And then I had to explain the whole majors thing with marathons.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, I think there's 6 of them: Chicago, New York, Berlin. And then I was like, I don't know what the other 3 are. I said, but I think Phil's goal is to run all 6.
And Boston is going to be the toughest one for him because you got to qualify for that one, so unless if you do like a really big charity. But yeah, big congratulations to everyone that participated in that. Wish I could have been there, but I don't know. I don't think I'll ever do that one, to be honest, but very jealous, and that's very awesome that they all did that today.
Great runners and better people, I could say, for all of them. And I can just say too that at this point in my life, just the plane ride over there would be painful. I can't imagine 26.2 miles on top of that. That's just, man, it's just.
Well, I got a painful plane ride coming up in a few weeks. I'm very kind of nervous about it. I'm trying not to think about it too much, but
see, because I keep thinking about this, because you have the big 40th, your 40th birthday bash headed out to Alani, which we could talk about that here in just a couple seconds, because we don't really have an agenda tonight. It's not a ton of Disney news this week. A couple things we're going to bring up here, but I'm excited for this because a new experience for you in the Disney universe, but it'll give us a lot of stuff to talk about because you have so many things to compare to, because you've been to Walt Disney World so many times, almost all the resorts down at Walt Disney World. You've been to Disneyland many times. So I can't wait to, again, I think this is the teacher in me all the time. In 6th grade, you're always doing compare and contrast. You're doing Venn diagrams. How are things alike? How are things different? What would you say, if you had to compare experiences right now, though? What are you looking forward to most, like a month out? I guess you're inside of a month, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm at 20 days as we're speaking right now. So, that's coming close. So it's funny,
hives here, man, because that is close.
So here's a little inside baseball for you. I know you like to use that term, inside baseball. So you got to kind of plan some things like you would for a Walt Disney World or a Disneyland. So, and their magic number out there is 30 days for most things. So I'm within that window, and it's very similar to Disneyland, Mike, where I think Disneyland may have fixed this because they stopped during the pandemic, and I think they brought it back. They kind of look at your length of resorts, but they don't look at your resort stay when you book things at Alani. So it's once I hit day 30, I got to book this thing, and then I can't book beyond. So then the next day I got to log in and do something. And the next day you kind of get that. So kind of interesting, but what they have are all these activities. It kind of reminds you of a cruise line. Really, I feel like this is going to be a cruise. I think it's going to really line up with a cruise line vacation because you got characters all over the place. You got the great pools, and there's just going to be these activities you can do. So the first thing I had to make sure I signed up for was the ukulele lessons. No doubt, right? That sounds really awesome. So I had 2 sessions of that.
When we come back the show after, we're gonna have a concert. At least a concert. I mean, at least 1 or 2 little tunes.
Yeah, I gotta sing Over the Rainbow for you when I get back. Right?
Yeah, we played that at our wedding. That is Israeli.
I know it's your wedding. So I know.
Yeah, we played that at our wedding.
I won't go into all the details. We don't need to make this like a Lonnie preview show, but yeah. So there's things like that. There's they have even the smallest things like animation, the animation that you could do at Hollywood Studios back in the day, or you do at Rafiki's Planet Watch. You can book that ahead of time. There's this thing called Thingababobs or whatever the thing is from Little Mermaid. It's this little scavenger hunt thing that you do around the resort. I don't know. There's all these things. So I made sure I signed up for all of them, that interested us, just to make sure we had something planned. And I tried to put them all on the same day because I'm going to want to venture out, right? I want to explore Oahu and see other things on the island. So I don't want to spend all the time at Alani. But so I tried to stagger, we're going to have a really hardcore Alani day here, and then maybe do something else the next day, then have an Alani day the next day, trying to alternate. It's kind of the plan I'm attacking right now.
Because Pam really wants to go Hawaii, and we are going to make it happen. We just been having trouble because when Mallory made varsity cheer, seriously, she had practice today, 8:00 in the morning. She's still not back. It was 8:00 until 6.
That's nuts.
They have a competition coming up in 2 weeks. And so it's so demanding that we can't leave until that's all over. So we're trying to figure it out. But it's kind of same thing. Like I want to see like Pearl Harbor. I want to see like a volcano, but I also want to be enjoying Alani, and so that was kind of the
I'll tell you.
dilemma.
So Joe Figgis gave me this great tip. I mean, I don't know if it's great yet. I haven't been there yet, but it sounds great. And Wade confirmed it too. So there's this app called like the Shaka app. Have you heard anyone talk about this on your
I have on
tech
another
podcast at all?
the one where you drive around. It's like having a guide with
Yes.
you. I heard it on the Tech Guy.
Yeah. It sounds fantastic.
Oh, totally.
So I downloaded or purchased like all the Oahu ones, and I think a lot of them overlap too. But I think it's gonna be a great $30 purchase because we can make kind of like So we've been kind of looking at what those maps are and those guides, and we don't have to follow it to a T. We can like improvise and like find things that we want to do. So those are going to be like some of our, excursion, like the Gardner excursions,
Right.
like because we thought about spending a lot of money on a tour guide for Oahu. That would have been like $1,000 or something. You're like, you know what? Let's just explore on our own. We got the Shaka app, they can kind of get us to areas, things like that. So I'm very excited to do some of those and just explore, just like live like a local, like run in, like go to a market or something, just like, I don't know. I'm just so excited for like those little things on our trip.
Way better than kidnapping a local and going and getting shave ice.
Yes.
That's what I don't. All right. We have our first caller of the night. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey, Mike, it's Tom from Cleveland. Trying to get another Cleveland
show.
Oh,
my God. It's going to be a Cleveland show tonight again. What's going on, Tom? Thanks for calling in. Thanks for being patient. Appreciate it.
Yeah. No. Loved it. Love the OSU game. So,
oh, my gosh.
That was good for at least us.
Hey, you guys are awesome against 10 player defenses.
Hey, I'm all in for that too. I mean, from my dislikes at the top is Michigan, then it's the Irish next. So I was okay with that. Ohio State's probably third or fourth, but I'm still okay with it.
I'm not a big Notre Dame fan myself either.
So I did like those Irish uniforms though. Those all green, like I thought were sharp.
Those are pretty sweet.
Yeah. Well, I do. One of my favorite games is the Notre Dame Navy game. So I'm a Navy man. So,
nice.
A lot of respect for the Notre Dame Navy game. I make sure I watch that one every year.
Our Army Navy is always one of my favorites. I love how they have their own weekend. I mean, that game is just it's like they say a tradition like no other. That's one of the greatest things in December every year. Kind of it's like one of the holiday traditions at this house.
Yes, I had a chance to go years ago. Actually snuck onto the field during the march on. It's a great story for another podcast, but
you know us, we can go right down that road and it'll be 7:00 Central here. But no, thank you for your service though. We'll say go Navy this year for you.
All right, go Navy. No, I just wanted to call in really quick because I missed the live show last week, and a bunch of guys were calling in, and great job for the Give Kids World charity. I did win a couple of things.
Thank you.
And I know you like hearing about that.
Yes.
So
what'd you get?
Unfortunately for Scott, I was the guy that won the Bluetooth speaker.
Nice. Wait, it makes sense though. A Navy man got the
ship,
got the boat. Yes, there we go. It makes me happy.
Yes. Yeah.
Tom, it was all in fun, man. It was good.
Be on a Disney cruise yet?
Oh, you have not been on a Disney cruise?
I have not. Actually, Mike, you booked my first one. I'm going in August the 24th.
Okay.
On the Wish.
Now, so when you were in the Navy, were you obviously on a ship, or were you like land based at an air station or something like that?
So I was actually submarines.
Oh man. Okay. Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, I was a submarine sailor.
Wow. I can't imagine.
That's what that means. Yeah, it was. I like to describe it as the greatest experience of my life, but I will never do it again.
Oh man. And see, I rode the subs at Disneyland, and everybody told me I was going to be claustrophobic when they closed that hatch. I was like, it's just a ride, just a ride, just a ride. I can't even imagine. You're really not going under that water that long, Mike. You're just going around a little lagoon, and it's really just a simulation. Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Tom, you've called in before, haven't you? Because I feel like I've heard this story before about you like being like a Navy guy, but you haven't been on a ship before. Am I right on that, or am I off base?
Oh no. So I called in. So I'm still in the Navy Reserves. and I called in. I got recalled to active duty beginning of this year.
That's right.
So I spent
That's
the
right.
first 5 months, and I was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia. So I was in an office job at that point.
That's
Well, congratulations on the speaker. I know we were having a fun little bidding war there, and like, there's no one better that could have won it, right? So I'm glad that we got to raise some money for Kid Gives the World and have some fun with it. But I believe you won a second auction item too, right?
I reserve bid on that. So.
That's
all
right.
Thanks for bumping it up.
Yeah, that's good. It went to a good home and for a good cause.
Tom, I believe you won a second item too, right?
So I did. So, and this is I'm so sorry to anyone else who bid. I did win the call in, the guest role.
Yes. And we are going to do that. We're just trying to get it. So we're trying to get everybody squared away on the items, because I know that we've been having this internal email going back and forth with the shipping and getting all that squared away. But we're going to do that. So whenever you're ready, we'll get that scheduled here in the next couple of weeks or a month or so. Whenever, just let me know.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. I felt bad. The gentleman that called last week, he was bidding on it, and I didn't even realize I won it. I just bid to kind of jump it up a little bit. I figured someone else had a high, minimum bid on it or max bid, and I get the bill at the end. I was like, wow, that's a lot more than I thought.
He's a buddy of ours. We're
good.
We're gonna work him. We're gonna work him and make some more money for Give Kids the World. He's a good friend of ours.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I was just. You know what? It was a total fluke. But the money went to. I'm not mad about it at all. It went to a good cause. I just feel bad. There's probably far more better people out there that could be a guest than myself.
No, you're going to be awesome.
No, you're going to be an awesome guest. Yeah,
it's going to be a great week. We're going to have a blast.
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So, yeah, just let me know. We'll make it happen here in the next week or a few weeks, because it's a nut house, but we'll get it done.
Yeah, no worries. I'm actually I called in a couple weeks ago. My daughter has a dance competition in Disney in December, so I'm kind of maybe hoping we could work it in so while I'm down there.
Yeah, it's totally just let me know, because it's totally your thing. Just whenever you want.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds like a plan, but my parents are visiting from Florida, and they just pulled into my driveway. So
okay.
Like, actually, the greatest part about them moving to Florida in the past few years is it gives me the perfect excuse to go down and go to Disney.
That's good stuff.
Sure.
No, seriously, got to go visit. Got to go see the relatives and Mickey Mouse.
That's exactly. I got two sisters, my nieces. My parents are all down there. So I was like, well, you must just go to Florida this year, and we'll of course go to Disney.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's what
sometimes you got to escape that Cleveland weather, like that's how I feel here. So yeah.
Yep.
We do. So
that's right.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, guys, for everything with Give Kids the World. You guys are awesome. I love the show.
Well, thank you so much again for your service and for helping out the families down at Give Kids the World, for being a part of our community. It's awesome, and can't wait for the big week with you here on the show. It's going to be a ton of fun.
All right, looking forward to it.
All right,
you guys
take care.
Have a good one.
You guys have an awesome week. Take care. Bye-bye. Tell your parents we said hello. See you.
We'll do.
Bye. That's so funny. They just roll.
Fantastic. Tom messaged me on Instagram. He was like, Scott, I gotta tell you, like, I'm the guy that outbid you on the speaker.
He's like, guess what? You can come visit, but you can't keep it.
Yeah.
Somebody, a Navy man, got the floating Bluetooth speaker.
The thing is, I could have got one on the ship. Like, I didn't even think about it. Like,
that's how it is. It's a opportunity lost. Yeah. All right, we have our next call on the line. Hey, who's joining us next?
Hi, Mike. Hi, Scott. It's Paul from New Jersey.
Speaking of, what's going on? Your ears were burning. Is that what they say?
Oh, they were burning. I was enjoying listening to you guys talk about Hawaii and various things. I can't believe Mallory practices that long, but I know the world of cheer. And it was a pleasure to listen to Tom. And then I heard that, he beat Scott out for the the floating speaker, so whether you use it in a pool or a tub, it doesn't matter. And then I heard him say, I want another item. And my gut started to ring, and I'm like, what other item could he have won? And he mentioned it that he wasn't even serious about it. But then he's a Navy guy, thank him for his service, thank him for his sacrifice. I couldn't have went to a better guy. but I'm coming with the war chest next year.
Think about this. We've been doing the show for 15 and a half years at this point. We've had a lot of voices on this podcast in that time. We will always find time for our listeners to get on the air, whether it's Sunday night, a Monday, whenever. Listener questions on Wednesday. We have an opportunity for everybody to have their voice on our show, and we'll get you on here. You know that. This is all of our show. This is the one show that everybody has a part of. It doesn't matter. Everybody gets to be on this show.
I think it's great that Tom was on talking to Scott about the floating speaker, and then once I heard that, I'm like, I got to call in now, because now I know he now, like, Tom gets 2 wins on both ends. It was just funny. Yeah. I figured the timing of it was good.
The fact that he's not been on a Disney, he's not been on a Disney cruise yet. I don't know that he's been on a cruise, but he's been on a sub.
But he's been on a real submarine.
That makes me like, I'm like, because I'm a little claustrophobic, and that makes me just like the thought of it. Like, because I mean, before I got on those subs at Disneyland, I had a moment, man. I was like, I hope I don't freak out on this thing, because people,
so that's even right. It's even worse.
Well, they get in your head. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, well, I mean, I've heard people say that, don't get on here if you're claustrophobic. And like, it's one of those things. It's like Mission Space at Epcot. Like,
I think it's completely different. I think the subs are way better than that. But the thing, it's one of those things, like, people keep saying it. I think it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, if nobody said a word, I'd have been fine. But it's like, everybody's like, man, hey, I hope you're not claustrophobic. Well, like the 7th time, I was like, maybe I am, I don't know.
Now that you're bringing it up enough, right?
Exactly.
Paul, didn't you have like a mini trip report? That's what you're going to call in for, right? I think because you were down there like right when me and Mike were.
I was I was enjoying you guys talking, and then I wasn't the first caller, and enjoyed hearing Tom. But I wanted to try to pick up with that from the right after I missed you guys, because I was down by my son in Southern Florida, and then I drove up that night because I was flying still out of Orlando. So I had what was a mini, my first solo trip to Disney, and it was just something that I wanted to talk about, and some of the things I did. It was funny because I drove up at night. It was a Sunday night. You guys left in the morning, I think, and just stayed at Saratoga. Scored one of the 9 Point studios and stayed. That's the first time I've been in the refurb studio. So I could wax poetically about how beautiful that was. But didn't do too much the first night, because by the time I got in, I just, put the TV on, relaxed a little bit, and looked forward to getting up early the next morning. And what I wanted to do I had 2 goals for my solo trip, or my solo day, if you will, was one, the wife said, you better get me a souvenir. So that had to be, the top of the list item.
Yep.
And then the other thing was, I had never really got to explore Batu, because it's not something she's really into. So the next morning, I scored a 9 Point studio at Boardwalk for the second night, and I just drove over to Boardwalk early, and then parked in the lot right by the front of the DVC lot, and then just jumped on the canal and walked down to Hollywood Studios, and basically just enjoyed taking Batu apart. Like, I had never gotten to go to all the shops, look at all the detail, jumped in the single rider line for the Millennium Falcon, for Smuggler's Run. I was just a kid in a candy store for and at my age, you don't get to have too many moments like that anymore. It was just fun.
It is cool, because you're 100%. Because I mean, when you get a little bit, and you got a wife, or you're married, or a significant other, you do have to compromise all the time on a vacation, right? Because kids and stuff, you're always thinking about others. But when you're on a solo trip, man, it's just like the world's yours. Tell me you had a breakfast Ronto wrap that morning. Come on now. I hope.
I did. And they're both fun trips, of course, but having to do it myself, I'm like, we don't have to play the 10-minute game of what are we going to get to eat or anything like that. Right. I just jumped right into the Ronto wrap. I had a reservation for the cantina, so I got to go in there and take that all in for my max 45 minutes. And, it was just a real enjoyable, what ended up being the morning into the afternoon. I didn't have anything else I wanted to knock off at Hollywood Studios, so I ended up jumping over to Epcot.
Not bad.
Nice. So did you do any food and wine booths when you were over at Epcot, or check anything up for the festival?
I did a few. Well, the first thing I did was, when I was checking, and I was like just walking around Batu for like the 3rd time, so that I kind of finally had it memorized. It's not that big of a land, but it's a good sized land. And I would always get in there and look right for the falcon and get a little discombobulated. So until I had it committed to memory for next time, and I felt it was enough, I'm like, I think it was about 2 o'clock. And I'm like, all right, it was exactly the time I could jump over. And I saw that Voices of Liberty was at 3. So I went over there and had something at the America food booth. I had the Italian roast beef sandwich with the au jus sauce, and that was fabulous. Then I listened to Voices of Liberty, and then I'm like, well, they go again at 3:45 because it's just my thing. And I'm like, the only thing I would have done was Impressions de France in between, but have that now. So I figured let me just jump over to the French Pavilion, got something at the bakery, and then went back for the 3:45 show. Then I finally went back and took my nap and went back in at night and did the Ireland booth, did the wings booth, took your guys' advice and stopped and watched them make the bum kuchen. That was fun.
Yeah.
And then, fireworks, it started to pour and got back to Boardwalk. And then the next day it was fly out in the morning, but man, it was a heck of a day.
So
That is.
you mentioned America. Now, that thing you had, so what did you have there in America? Because that sounded good. It was with au jus. What did you have? Italian beef?
Call it an Italian beef sandwich.
God,
I don't know why
good.
they call it Italian and it's in the American Pavilion, but just like a roast beef sandwich on a mini roll with the au jus sauce. Yeah.
God, it was. And Scott found something when we were down there. It was back in the back corner. It's a thing that Scott loves. He gets out in San Diego. What's that thing called? The it's kind of Spanish.
The
sound.
chilaquiles?
Yeah, because I mean, like you were surprised they had that, but it was like in the back corner there, back by the Epcot or the Kid Cut station kind of thing.
Yeah, I love those things.
Oh, I didn't see that on the menu. Okay. Yeah, back there. Because then you could eat right there. Kit Kat's right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about Ireland though? So that's like one of my favorite booths. So I love the Guinness milkshake, and then I love the warm pudding. Did you do either of those when you're over in Ireland?
I did not. I did the fisherman's pie.
Okay.
I've had that in the past. That is rocking. I almost got that when I was down there.
And I almost, it was so good. I almost wanted it twice because I've had it almost every time they've offered it that I've been there. I've always gotten it. And you always get a little, get off my lawn kind of thing. I'm like, they're putting less and less seafood in this every time I go. And maybe it's not as good, but I'll get another one. And this time it was stuffed. Like there was so many shrimp and so many scallops, and it was the best one I ever had. And before I went over to, I think I said I went to past Canada, didn't get anything, but went to the wing place in the Odyssey. Before I did that, I'm like, should I get another one? I'm like, but what if I had the best one?
Yeah, that's true.
And I'll be just by the second one. So I just stayed with the best one I ever had.
Probably a smart move.
That is true. I mean, because don't ruin the illusion that they're all like that this year.
So how was your room at Boardwalk? Those aren't refurbished yet, right?
Though, and and I'm still looking forward. We're gonna go down and I don't know when you're in Hawaii, Scott, but I know in a couple of weeks we'll be going back down for food and wine because we'll be meeting my sons that are coming up. They're both in South Florida, so spending some time with them at food and wine. I'll get to hit that. I'll have to try that Guinness milkshake the next time I go down. But the only other thing I had was really good was the short rib in France. I had that was pretty good. The wings were good. I didn't try the pickle milkshake. I had a small story about that because I've been thinking about that ever since you guys were talking about it. And I'm like, I am never going to try this thing. And there was a young lady with her daughter behind me in line, and she was trying to convince her daughter. And she was like, "Honey, they have the pickle milkshake." And the little girl went, "Yeah." And I turned to the mom and I'm like, "Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it."
Same.
So, from the mouths of babes, but it was didn't get the pickle milkshake. Did.
It's for your Instagram. That's all that's for. It's Instagram. It's Instagram bait. No, I don't know. So Scott was asking about the studio over
the studio room at the Boardwalk. How was that?
Oh, the studio at the Boardwalk. It was I was really surprised. Like I knew I'd get a view of the parking lot or the porte cochere, but the tree planting, the way they have those trees with the Spanish moss, you go out on your balcony. You're not right on top of the tree, but the tree pretty much blocks everything. The parking lot is behind it, but it was a pleasant view if you just enjoy being out in nature and taking that in. The room was a little compared to the bed, the pillows, the other things wasn't quite as good as Saratoga because it was just freshly refurbed. But it's always an enjoyable room. I like the Boardwalk because of its positioning between the two parks.
That's about all I like about the boardwalk. Those DVC rooms are not my favorite, but I know they're refurbishing them. Like I think they started this week actually.
Yeah, they are working on them. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm excited for that because the point value is really good. Especially if you own there. I don't own there, unfortunately, so it's hard to get like one of those studios at one of those good price points. But I'm very excited they're going to refurbish them because they're some of my least favorite, to be honest.
Yeah, I only wanted it because I knew I was doing that Batu day. And I don't own there either. And when I was sitting there, I was just going to take because I did this late, and I was just going to take the Saratoga 2 nights. But when I saw Boardwalk for just one night at 9 points, I just jumped on it just for like you said, the value of it.
Oh yeah, you got to. Yeah, and that made sense for the way you planned your day there too. It was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, between the studios and Epcot. Plus, I mean, you got a rocking pool there too. That's a pretty good pool.
Of course, you have to endure on the walk to Epcot, you have to endure the shell that is now used to be ESPN Club, but with the good, you got to take the bad. So
that is a bummer, especially now it's football season. That makes it even worse.
Yep. All right, guys. It was a pleasure speaking with you again.
All right, same. You too. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Paul. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you.
Take care.
All righty, bye-bye. All right, we have 3 coming in here, so let's see. I'll just grab this one and just hit a random one. Hey, who's calling us next? Who's on the line?
Hey, Mike and Scott, it's Jason in Chicago.
Jason, what's going up in Chi-Town? Say hello to my daughter up there.
I see her often up at the UIC Flames basketball
That's
game.
right. Yeah, I know the season will be starting here shortly. I think like a month or so.
Yeah, I got my schedule and looking to do some replay up there.
That'll be cool. Tell her I said hello next time you're up there at the Credit One Center, I think it's called.
Credit One, Union Credit Union.
It's got so many names, I can't remember. I always see it. Paige is always correcting me. I'm like, I can't remember. It's too confusing. It's a nice little place. I like it. Anyway, what's going on? And by the way, I love following your Instagram because you have the best like sports pictures. Like I just love seeing you and your son just going around and doing sports like that. That's how life should be.
It's fun. We try to get around. Fortunately, we get to a lot of Bears games, Cubs games. So we try to make the most of the sports in the city.
Well, it's better to be a Cubs fan. I hate to say that, and not such a good time to be a Bears fan right now. But yeah, take the good with the bad.
Was awful. But at least we got the Buckeyes. Buckeyes from last night are keeping me on a high.
There you go. Good. Yeah, I just heard the one joke I heard this weekend was how the Bears had all that stuff stolen apparently out of their facilities this weekend, and
right.
They said, Did they steal the offensive playbook? And if they left that behind, that's the biggest crime of them all. So anyway, that's pretty bad. So what's going on? Anyway, I'm terrible. Go ahead, Jason. What's going on?
So, so I've got a question about Disneyland.
Sure.
I'm going 2 weeks from yesterday. It's kind of on the back end of a work trip, and I'm only going to get about 8 hours maybe at Disneyland. What are the things I should do? Like, what are my must-dos in a short period of time?
Scotty G, take this one. 8 hours, man, on the
8 hours
business trip, man. This is it. Like,
so 8 hours, I'd say you got to get the Genie Plus too, for sure. To try to help save and maximize your time. But and if you listen to the podcast, I think what some of the must-dos are. Everyone's always says like Pirates of the Caribbean for sure out there at Disneyland is so much better. And you got unique attractions like the Matterhorn, things like that. Radiator Springs Racers. That's why I like the park. I mean, if you can do it, like the park hopper would be great so that you can kind of bounce between the two. Because seeing Cars Land is a must do for me personally.
It's my favorite land anywhere.
But one thing that I don't think is always on people's radar, Jason.
Jason, give us a little more. We got.
I was just saying one thing I don't think is always on people's radar that I really like is just the Alice in Wonderland attraction. That is like the best dark ride, in my opinion, of all the Disney parks that I've been to personally. So definitely got to do Alice in Wonderland while you're there too in Fantasyland.
Okay. So I was also wondering about a park hopper. I mean, I've been to DCA before. It's been years ago, but I didn't see Radiator Springs. Is it worth it to get it with my short time?
I would say yes. I mean, you're there, and I mean, I'm cheap, right? I mean, I don't like spending extra money, but like you're there, and in 8 hours, and you're going for the gusto. It's like go big or go home, right? You're gonna get Genie Plus, you're gonna get the Park Hopper, because in 8 hours, honestly, with Park Hopper and Genie Plus, you could get so much done. And like Scott said, you could do Radiator Springs. You could still go over and do a lot at Disneyland. I would imagine you could probably do with Genie Plus, Scott. When you're going in 2 weeks, so what that would be October.
October 7th.
What day of the week are you going?
Pardon?
What day of the week is it going to be?
Saturday.
Ooh. I mean, I would say you could probably do 15 attractions at least.
I would think so. Like if you get there, like is your plan to be there like right when the park opens and then you're like leaving like later that evening, Jason?
No, the meeting ends at around like noon or 1. I'm staying in Irvine. I don't think I'll even get to the park until 2.
Gotcha.
But they're open until midnight.
Right. Yeah. It's open late.
Yeah. Mark in the live chat says make sure you do mission break.
Arrival.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because that's the thing. Like, I mean, I think Disney because Disneyland Park will be the one that's open at midnight. So I definitely think you can do a lot of stuff there, like after like 9-10 o'clock for sure. Because I think, people try to station for the fireworks, the parades and things like, and I wouldn't, oh man, I love those things there too though, but I might not necessarily focus on that. There's like big attractions that you haven't done or want to try and see. So I do like the Park Hopper. I'm still sticking with the Park Hopper with Genie Plus. My dad's going to come out for like the first time, like ever, like when we're down there and out there in January. And that's the strategy I'm going with him. Like just do one day. We'll do the Genie Plus. I'm going to exhaust the heck out of you, but we're going to go for it.
I just don't think
So Genie Plus will give me attractions in both parks.
Yes.
Okay.
As long as you have the Park Hopper. Yes.
Right.
And I mean, it works so great out there because
it does.
I mean, what we did when we were there in July a couple of years ago together, we were there over the 4th of July. I mean, it was pretty busy. We would just go with like the next thing that was rolling. I mean, like as soon as we hit the touch point, like we went into Indiana Jones, right? And it's got this extremely long queue. Like, you're walking in, but you hit that first touch point and you probably, and I'm not lying, you probably have maybe a quarter of a mile till you actually get on the vehicle. Like it's a long way from the first touch point. We hit that and we had already like selected our next attraction that we wanted to get on. So as soon as we got off Indiana Jones, we were like walking on, just walking straight to our next attraction and got on it. Because it took us 15 minutes to do the attraction, 5-10 minutes to walk over.
And just be smart about it though. Like don't like if you're in there, then don't make like Radiator Spring Racers like your next one if you didn't plan on going over the try to be strategic like for the order that you do the attractions for the parks that you're into.
Well, right? Radiator Springs Racers would be an individual lightning lane.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a bad example. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah. I mean, you would use that for other things. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But and that'd be something you'd do, just kind of monitor or just buy. That's the only just little Mike Rollman trivia. That's the only individual lightning lane I've ever bought in my life is cars. It was Radiator Springs Racers, and it was worth it. It was just me, but
yeah, I'm okay spending like I said, it's one trip by myself, and I'm definitely willing to spend the money to get on everything because I don't know when I'll be out there next.
Yeah,
no, I get it.
Yeah, I was there solo on a media thing, and like I had like one day or something. It's the same thing, right? The media thing was over, and I was only there for like the media thing only lasted like 1 day and a half. It was for a Disney 100 kickoff, but I was like, I'm not flying out there for like 1 day. You know what I'm saying? Like, Pam needed somebody to go, so I was like, I'll go. But it was like 1 day. I'm like, well, I'm not going to go all the way to the West Coast for 1 day. So I added 2 days on and bought, a ticket. I'm like, well, dude, I'm gonna, I'm riding everything. I was just exactly like you. I'm like, let's go. Like, I mean, make it. I paid that plane ticket. I'm gonna ride stuff. So same thing.
Yeah. And this might be an obvious thing too, but I'm just gonna bring it up there too. I would just avoid like table service restaurants because you just want to you don't want to spend like an hour and a half like in a restaurant, right? So just kind of be like, I would just grab my food on the go while I'm walking and things like that. Just try to maximize the time.
Yeah, and they have best snacks and best service.
There wasn't a lot in terms of reservations anyway when I was just looking the past couple of days, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and the counter service there is rocking. You're good. It's so good.
Nice.
Well, that's gonna be a fun day.
Yeah, give us a call and let us know how it goes when you get back. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, we'll do. I appreciate it. Thanks. Love
All right.
the show,
Hey.
and great talking to you guys.
All right. Good talking to you, and go Flames. Talk to you.
Go Flames.
All right.
Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye. That's awesome. He does video replay for the Flames basketball.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome.
He sees Paige. He sees
that's
my
cool.
daughter more than I do.
I kind of caught some of that a little bit.
Yeah,
while
no,
you
it's
guys
like, I
were
mean,
talking.
I was like, oh, it's Jason because he does video. He's like sits at the scorers table, and when there's a video contested play, because I talked to him, like I'd seen that he was posted on Instagram, and I'm like, I know that guy. Then he's like, yeah, talk to your daughter.
That's
All right,
funny.
we have our next caller. Callers rolling in tonight. We got to love this on a live show. Hey, who's joining us next?
Hi, Mike and Scott. This is Alan.
Alan, thanks for calling in. What's going on? Happy Sunday.
Hey, happy Sunday to you guys. I should say aloha. I'm
Ooh.
calling from the Alani.
Oh, well, hey, Scotty G, man, he's in heaven. Check this out. Gotta love this, boy.
That's
Get
what I call-
personal service.
That's why I thought I'd call in, because I thought I remembered Scotty saying him and his family were going to be taking a trip here. And just thought I'd give him a live report.
I love the live report. So what time is it? Is it like 1:30 in the afternoon there or something like that right now?
Yeah, it's like 1:42. 1:42. What's really a trip though is when you, if you want to watch a football game, the football games this morning start at 7 a.m.
That's crazy.
So you have the 7 a.m. games and then the 10 o'clock games. And
That's unbelievable.
I'm from California. I'm a big Niners fan, and when they played Thursday night, that game started at 2:15 in the afternoon. So that was kind of funny for that to happen. So
Right,
just
that's so funny.
Scott, if you want trying to follow any of your, the Lions or Michigan State when you're out here.
Yeah, so Michigan State will be interesting because they'll be kicking off like right as I'm flying. So as long as I have like inline TV, I'm gonna have a whole Saturday slate of college football games. It'll be awesome.
That's a good.
And then my last night there, they play Michigan, and that's not gonna. It's the way the season is shaping out. That's gonna be rough. So I'm probably not gonna worry about waking up early for that one.
I told Scott he should just watch
Right.
Sleepless in Seattle or something that night instead of the Michigan State game this year.
That might be a better choice. Huh?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Not
Scott,
to make it sports because I want to hear
Wait.
some updates on Alani, but the 49ers like look legit. Like I was actually talking about that today with a buddy
Yeah.
over lunch today.
I know it's just that Mr. Irrelevant Brock
Right.
Purdy is lighting it up
Yes,
for us,
he
or at
is.
least being consistently good. So
Yeah.
that's helping out.
Got that right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, but I was telling. I'm right now. I'm on the lounge chair at the beach, just staring right out at the lagoon.
Oh man.
You'll go crazy with all the palm trees here, Scott.
Yes. I love it. Oh yeah.
We are talking to somebody that is in Hawaii at Alani. I am sitting in my basement in Missouri, sitting here talking to something is wrong with the universe.
Well, we're lucky. We bought a DVC contract resale during COVID when some of the prices dropped, and we got a steal of a deal on. So we've been able to go a few times. So and plus it's not that coming from California. It's only about just a little under a 5-hour flight, so it's not awful.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So,
Yeah. So yeah, but I was going to ask you, Scott, if you had any things that you were looking forward to doing while you're out here, or any particular things you and your family want to do, because it's as gorgeous, just even relaxing at the resort. I mean, pools. I don't know if you know, there's a couple water slides here that are just like water park level water slides. One has a tube that you can share with like a double tube or a single inner tube, and then a lazy river that just goes on for like 15 minutes after you go down the slide. It's incredible.
yeah, so that lazy river has really caught my attention. I feel like I'm never gonna leave an inner tube, and I'm just gonna live in that lazy river.
Scott is Mr. Swimming Pool, for the record. I mean, if you don't know Scott, he is Mr. Swimming Pool. This dude will be pruned up and like you have to drag him out.
I know there's a pool that's going to be under refurbishment while we're there, but and I'm not going to let that ruin my trip. I mean, there's so many great pools there at Alani. So I think it's one that's normally under refurb from what I hear anyways, like a grotto pool, I think is what it is. So I'm not too concerned about it.
Okay. Well, even if that one's refurbed, there's still other ones, like I said, you could enjoy. And even some of the jacuzzi spas. I mean, they have like the infinity edge where you just look straight out into the ocean. It's
That's so great.
incredibly beautiful.
That's
Every time we
unreal.
come here.
So Alan, what about the food around the resort?
Oh,
So
we got tired.
Did I lose him?
No, he's
Is
here.
there anything else you guys are looking forward to doing out here? I mean, we took a tour on the other side of the island a few days ago. It's called a place called Kualoa Ranch, where they filmed a lot of TV shows, movies. Jurassic World, Jurassic Park were filmed out there. That was just such a great. It's just beautiful, incredibly beautiful. Just amazing. Ate at a place called Haleiwa Joe's out there, and it looked like open air. Felt like you were looking at the scenes from Jurassic Park. The mountains. It's just, you can't believe how beautiful it is. So there's so many things. I mean, you guys will have a great time out here.
So my wife has a long list of things, to do, and the Kualoa Ranch is like near the very top of that. So I was happy to hear you mention that. So that's definitely on our to-do list. But what was the name of that restaurant again? Because like I gotta look that up because that sounds really awesome.
Yeah, it's called Haleiwa Joe's, and there's a North Shore town about 40 minutes from the Alani called Haleiwa, and there's a Haleiwa Joe's in that town as well. But the one that we went to was on the other side of the island, in a town called Kaneohe, and that is it's probably about 15 minutes from where Kualoa Ranch is. So it'd be a great place to maybe hit after doing a tour at the ranch that day. And there's so many different tours you can choose from over there. There's some that are just movie site tours. We did a Jurassic Park adventure tour, was like a open air kind of mini bus, and they stopped. Our tour guide was incredible. He was a former stuntman and worked on Lost. He worked on Jurassic World and other movies, and just has a lot of just incredible information about the different sites that we were seeing from a Hawaiian native. Yeah. It was incredible. Your wife would love it.
Yeah, because I was a huge Lost fan back in the day, and I think they did film on set there, if I recall, for Lost. So yeah, so I have to check it out.
Yeah, and you're a big golfer. Our tour guide pointed out where Hurley had his golf course on the property there, and where he played on some of the shows. And my wife and I, when we drove up to the North Shore yesterday, we found kind of a little bit off the beaten path the big banyan tree that was in some of the episodes of Lost. So that was kind of fun to see as well.
That's fantastic. Alan, so on the subject of food, I do have a question though about like the resort. So do you have like some go-tos that you like at the resort for dining, or have you ever been to like Ama Ama, like the signature restaurant? Any thoughts on that at all?
So we have not had a chance to eat at Ama Ama yet, but everyone I've heard, seems to really enjoy it. It's literally 75 feet behind my back right now.
That's incredible.
Very close to the ocean. I can see the seats from Ama Ama right there, and it's beautiful. It's the only thing I would recommend is just maybe don't. It's great to go off the property, but the property is so beautiful here. It's like you don't want to leave, but there's so many other things you want to try to do while you're in Hawaii as well. So it's kind of like you get torn of. So I want to see Pearl Harbor, or I want to see, North Shore, or, Kualoa Ranch, but then you also want to enjoy the resort as well. Right. So,
yeah. So we have 8 nights. So like, I was thinking like a every other day thing, like do Alani, then explore something on the island. Does that feel right to you, or?
Oh yeah, I totally think that would be great. That's what we're kind of doing this time. Just because if you're out in the sun too much, it can get a little draining, and we try to, monitor that, but we're not just totally baking out there, hop in the ocean every half hour, or hit the pools in the lazy river. It literally, we just keep like laughing how relaxing the place is. You go down the lazy river, you just can't get enough of it. Like you just keep going, like you said, you might be doing that for hours.
I'm worried this dude might never come back.
I might not. I'm going to bring my work stuff.
He better bring his laptop because I need him on the show, but he might never come back.
If you see how many drinks out of pineapples he has here, and you never know. He might just stick around here and look for some property.
Right.
But I tell you, once you come to this, and people say this is Disney's top DVC.
Mm-hmm.
It's just incredible. And we were fortunate enough to buy into DVC resale at a good time.
Yeah. I love it. I know Mike probably wants to take a call, but I got another question. I got to ask another question. So, like, I am a big merchandise guy too. So, I got to imagine there's
Yeah.
great like Alani themed merchandise at the resort too, right?
Oh yeah. I know. Being a golfer and like in your golf shirts and stuff. They definitely have. They have a couple different merchandise shops. A couple has like the higher end, Nike polos and things like that look really nice, and the Alani hats. And they this year I noticed more like Alani t-shirts and Spirit jerseys, and like Crazy Shirts is a big Hawaiian t-shirt brand, and there's a lot of the Crazy Shirt Alani t-shirts this year. But it's a good selection. It's not like going into World of Disney by any means, but definitely.
And is there a good amount of like Duffy and like Shelly Mae stuff? So my daughter is like always like, ever since she was young, she loved like Duffy and like that whole like line. And I think they have a lot of that over there too, right?
Oh yes, for sure. And meet and greets with, they have that listed on the app, all the different meet and greets that are happening every day. Ulu Mel, Duffy.
I love that guy.
They have these free tours that we took a nature tour that just kind of explained different parts of the resort and just the history of it. And anyway, like Moana just walks right on by as we're doing the tour. You see the characters all the time, and it's not like at Disney World where you might have to wait, a half hour. It's like sometimes the lines are very short. Like there's only 3-4 people in line. You just hop right in. Boom.
See, that feels like cruising to me a little, Mike. You know what I'm saying?
Very similar to cruising, sounds like.
Yeah, very, very. And it's, like you'll see when you get here, that first day might be a little bit of a shock just because of the jet lag. But it's like when we arrived here, it's like we left San Jose like at 7:30 in the morning. We got here and it's like 9:45. And you're thinking, we have the whole day ahead of us still. It starts to wear on you a little bit. And you're coming from even further away.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I've heard from people, because when I land, it's going to feel like 11 o'clock at night for me, but it's going to be 4 or 5, like in the afternoon. So I was told, like, just try to like grind it out, try to stay up late, try to go to bed at a normal Hawaii time. And then I'm sure I'm going to wake up early the first couple days, but yeah.
And the sunset here is around 6:30. So it is earlier. But of course, the sunsets looking from the beach here are just incredible.
Oh, I can't imagine.
And we have eaten at another restaurant that's here is Makihiki. It used to be more of a buffet, but now it's more like a la carte dining.
Okay. I got a reservation for there too. So one night. So yeah. Because we're gonna do that restaurant, and then I think we're gonna do the stargazing like that. Have you ever done the stargazing at the resort?
No, we want to do that. That's something that's definitely on our list to try to do, because I think that I've heard that's a really great experience. And they have ukulele lessons. Just there's so many just things that you want to do. You could have a great time doing all those activities, or a great time just chilling and relaxing at a pool or
That's
the
why
beach.
it sounds just like a cruise. To me, it sounds just like a cruise.
Yeah.
And my wife and I were playing ping pong, just looking out at the beach. It's just right there. There's lots of different activities, and the quick service is pretty solid. So just be prepared. There is a little bit of sticker shock. There's Disney prices and there's Hawaii Disney prices. So
good to know.
A little bit up.
Yeah, my home equity loan is ready to cover all that. I'm just kidding. I just play. No, that's good. No, but Alan, I want to connect. Like, if you got like an Instagram account or something, maybe we can connect and like DM each other. If I have any questions, I would love if you could help me out.
Absolutely. One of the restaurants that I would recommend that's literally right across the street. It's a 2-minute walk from the Alani. It's called Monkey Pod, and that is someone recommended that to us, and it's great. They have a happy hour that's very good variety in their menu. It's open air, and it's right across the street from the Alani. So I'd highly recommend that one if you're going off property.
For sure. That's awesome. Yeah. I've heard about Monkey Pod before. I heard that's a pretty cool spot to go. So that's awesome. Good to hear that you like it.
Well, I just want to call real quick and give you guys a little Alani mini trip report.
That is awesome. No, thank you for taking time out of your amazing vacation, and what a great call. That is super helpful for Scott. And man, I love hearing about
And
it.
you're just live there on a lounger, man, just talking to us.
I mean, technology is amazing. You are at Alani, like in paradise, just calling us here in the middle of the United States.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah. Well, I always enjoy listening to guys, and I just thought I'd just give a little contribution this time.
We appreciate it so much. And you go on, just going on, doing whatever you're doing. You're doing it right. You're winning life right now. So have fun, buddy. Thanks, Alan. You have a great one.
Aloha, Alan. Have a great one.
Bye-bye.
Aloha. Bye-bye. Oh, see, we have the best listeners. Look at that. Taking care of you from Alani.
That call got me psyched. I mean, not that I wasn't already psyched, but I was already thinking what he was saying. Like, kickoff games are at 7 a.m. You know, like that is nuts.
Yeah, dude, you oversleep and you missed you missed the whole first dock of the game.
Right?
You're all of a sudden in the 3:30 slot.
Yeah. I heard about that monkey pot place too. Yeah, and I saw Wade mentioned it in the chat. So that is definitely on our list for things to check out.
So that's like a restaurant or like a
it's like a restaurant. Like I heard like you just walk to it. Like it's super close. So for those that don't have a car and like want to get off property, like I hear that's a pretty cool place to go. I think there might be like a grocery store next door or something too, maybe. Like don't really know 100%, but I hear like you got to go to Monkey Pod. They might have weird hours too, so I gotta check in on that too.
So it's one of those it sounds like kind of like a local, where you get a taste of the local flavors.
Yeah, I bet a lot of tourists go to that place too, though.
Yeah,
speaking of, it's like right there, you know. But I definitely want to find like a couple local places. Maybe Wade can help me out. I know he's more like a Big Island and a Maui guy, but he might be able to hook me up with some Oahu information.
I think Wade knows most places to go.
He's flying out there on Wednesday. He's going to be there like this week.
He's semi-local
at this point. Yeah,
I think he's like half Nebraskan, half Hawaiian. You know,
no one impressed me the way Alan was like saying like all the town names and all that. Like I'm so afraid, like I'm going to pronounce something wrong.
Well, plus, I saw you writing stuff down, and I was like, he's not spelling that right.
Yeah, most likely you're right. Like my apostrophes are probably in the wrong spot, and
he might have got the first letter, maybe the second letter. Because I'm thinking, I have no idea how you would spell that.
But what did that do for you? Like, just like, because that's the way I always thought. Because I know how much you love cruising, and like, because you even talk about like sea days are your favorite. I feel like Alani is almost like a sea day, like on a ship almost.
Yeah,
like, with the way you like just chill and do the pools and the activities, you know.
Because I'm not good at just sitting. Like I'm just not. Like I'm not wired that way. Just to like go out at 9 o'clock in the morning and still be sitting on the beach at 6 o'clock in the evening.
You might be able to in paradise though.
That's true. I mean, because I love looking at, I've seen, photos and stuff and videos from Hawaii and stuff. I mean, it's like probably some of the most beautiful places on the planet. So yeah, that's definitely something to consider. But, I like to do stuff. Like I want to be active and learn how to play ukulele or stargaze, all that stuff you said. I'm like, ooh, I want to do that. Ooh, I want to do that. So yeah, that's why I like the combo of everything. All right, we have our last call of the day. Let's get this one in here real quick. Hey, who's joining us? Last call of the night.
Hey, it's Dennis. How you guys doing?
Hey, Dennis. How's Texas tonight?
Doing well. I thought of you guys because for the first time ever, I made a new recipe on my grill, which was an old fashioned that I did with some smoked simple syrup. So naturally, I thought of Scotty G.
Oh, it's like the Scotty G episode. I like it.
This is the Scotty G. This is your life episode right here tonight.
So what'd you say? So you smoked them like on the grill? Is that what you said, Dennis?
Yeah, I took 2 cups of sugar, 2 cups of water, put it on my grill with some wood chips and pellets that were oak, cherry, and hickory, and let it just sit there on a low temperature for about 2 hours. Wow. Did that last night, and then earlier today, I sliced up some oranges and smoked those for about 30 minutes on a low temperature, and was enjoying that throughout the day while I was watching football. So, but
this is incredible.
Hearing you all talk about the greatest old fashions there on Disney property and on the cruise line for a while, I thought I had to let you guys know about it.
That would probably take the cake.
I'm about to say I need to have a Dennis old fashioned now.
That's what I'm thinking. You totally need to.
So what was the result? Like, how was it? Really good, I'm guessing.
It was fantastic. The best part about it is after you drink the old fashioned, taking the orange slice and eating that afterwards. After it had that smoky flavor and the sugar and the bourbon mixed into it, it was just. Sorry, Mike, I'm blowing your rating here with your listeners.
No, you're fine because I like those maraschino cherries at the end of the old fashioned. Like I love destroying those things.
Yeah. Well, I was going to smoke some cherries to go with it, but they're not in season, so I couldn't get any of those from the store. So I had to just settle for the oranges, but it worked out really well.
Sounds good.
Wow, I need to up my game after hearing this.
That's way up in it, though, man. That's like a whole nother level.
That is impressive.
Yeah. Well, I have a question for you guys because I've been I got a cruise coming up in January, and one of the stops is at Cozumel, and I've been there before. But can you all think of a really great thing to do on Cozumel? My wife and my boys aren't big fans of just hanging out at the beach, and I heard you all just talking about that, Mike. You just can't sit there at the beach all day. But is there anything that you've done there on previous cruises or any other trips that would just be something wonderful to do other than just hanging out on the ship?
So Cozumel is actually my favorite stop on the Western. And I've been there probably 4 or 5 times. Here's some of the stuff that we've done. So my favorite thing that we've done ever, and I've done this twice, is the Amazing Race Cozumel. I've done it with my boy Scotty G and Paige. They have a simulated Amazing Race, like the TV show, where they run you all around the city, right? Like in teams. It's awesome, man. It lasts about 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, I would say depending on your family. I mean, you're active, like you're moving a lot.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, I think you are like
you're working a little bit.
Graphic for it. You'd love it. You guys would love it. Like you go into like I won't give it away if you do it, but I mean, you see a lot of the town. Like it's a forced,
and you have to speak some of the language. They like ask you like. Because remember, you had to like ask like locals, like
right, but
what
you
something
enlist
is.
Locals. It's like the show. If you've ever seen Amazing Race, like you would enlist a local to help you kind of solve, like they give you clue, like you get the envelopes, you rip open the envelope, and you got to do this. A lot of times you'll find a local on the street. They'll kind of help you, like point you in the right direction. You got to do this and that. I mean, we killed it. We won. I mean, not to brag, we won by so much that we were, because it finished at like an open air bar, kind of like a bar and grill.
Mexican restaurant, kind of.
Mexican restaurant. And so we finished by so much. Paige, Scott, and I had destroyed like a plate of macho nachos and margaritas by the time second place came in.
Okay.
But yeah, it was fun. So we've done that. And I've done it twice. I did it with Paige like a long time ago too, before that. And we had just as great a time. Let's see. We've also rented Jeeps. We did this thing where you rented Jeeps. And so you like Wranglers, and you drove around the island of Cozumel, but halfway around you stopped and they barbecued and you swam like in the ocean. And that was kind of cool. We did do Paradise Beach one time at Cozumel, which was where they, you just went down to this place called Paradise Beach, and it had like inflatables. But the thing was, it had, you could go out into the water like on the ocean, but it also had a really nice freshwater swimming pool and like a covered bar area. And the food, they had Mexican food that was awesome, and it was dirt cheap. But there was a nice like filtered, chlorinated swimming pool. It was really nice, and it was super cheap to go to Paradise Beach. So that's another thing we've done at Cozumel. So those are some of the things we've done. We've done snorkeling there, but I'm not a fan of snorkeling. That's where I learned I don't like snorkeling. I felt like I was going to drown. But if you want to do that, that's an option. But those are some of the things we've done. I don't know, what are you guys looking at?
Oh, the previous time that we did Cozumel was back in 2021 over Thanksgiving. As we were coming out of COVID, and we did the San Gervais Mayan ruins, and which then went to the chocolate factory and then the private beach excursion. And my family all says they want to do that again. I'm just trying to look for other ideas. That Jeep idea sounds a lot of fun. I'm not sure how much I can get these guys to run around all day though. So
the Jeep idea sounds good to me too, actually.
Yeah, we're gonna do something similar when we go on the Eastern this year. This July, we're going. I can't remember the islands, but one of the islands offers us. Now, what it was, now, again, we did this on our honeymoon, and we've been married 17 years, so it's been a while. But it was like there was like 20 Jeeps on the tour, right? So everybody just kind of stayed in a line, and you're in a Wrangler with the top down, and so everybody just drives kind of in a line. I mean, and it was funny because a lot of people couldn't drive sticks, so it was kind of a mess. You got all these Americans in these Jeeps, and they're like, I had one at home, so it wasn't a big deal. But you're just driving around the island, kind of looking around. I think the island's only about 30 miles around or something. And so after about 15 miles, you're on the other side, and you'd stop, and they had a barbecue. Like they had a big like tent, kind of covered canopy thing. But yeah, it was nice. You could swim. It was like an hour and a half break. Ate, just chilled out, and then went back. That was fun.
That doesn't sound so bad. The last cruise I did was out of San Diego, and we went to Catalina Island, and we did a couple things there. But one of the most favorite things I did was we rented a golf cart and just drove around that island for an hour and had a fantastic time looking at the views of the ocean and the ship because I was a tender port and stuff like that. So that sounds pretty cool. But yeah, I just we're the Costa Maya stop on that trip. We're going to see some really incredible Mayan ruins on that one. But having been to Cozumel before, I like the island. It's just that trying to my family on the beach for a couple hours it can be a challenge. So
I hear you. Yeah. It was nice. I mean, because everybody got to just ride around and see the island. Because once you get away from the port, it is a lot more rustic kind of looking. It's beautiful. It's just more natural once you get away from where all the cruise ships are. It was really nice. And the food was actually
I heard
too.
a lot about the cenote that they have there. And then what is it? The Jade Caverns and stuff like that. I just haven't heard anyone's ever been there. So just trying to figure out what to do to make the most of that stop come January.
I mean, hey, if you do the Amazing Race, you got to defend our crown. Be our guest podcast. We're 2 for 2 and we run it. So
where do you sign up for that? Is that through the Disney or is that elsewhere?
No, there's a website. It's just the thing is called Amazing Race Cozumel. I just Googled it and it's there. It's
is our photo on the main page, Mike?
No? Should be. I mean, they told us we set a record. They're full of it, right? They were drunk, but
we did get some cool photos because there are like people like stationed, like hidden, like that are like filming you and like taking photos of you the whole time. So it was cool afterwards. Like they like shared them on their Facebook page or something. So when we got off the ship, we downloaded them all. Like they're kind of cool. Like we're out there running, like not knowing that they're photographing us. It was kind of cool.
I mean, Paige actually had to jump off a boat and like dive down to get one of the clues, like in the bay. I mean, it was wild. I mean, it was fun. Yeah, it was neat.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out. Okay. Well, thanks, guys. Check out your Discord server because I put a picture of the old fashioned there for you.
Oh, cool. So I will do that. I will check it. And one last thing, Dennis, MIZ.
You faded out there, so I'm assuming you said MIZ, and I'm going to respond ZOU.
Oh, there we go. I was going to say, man, okay, we're ranked. We're 4-0, man. We got to take it while we can get it. All right, I'll see you, Dennis. Take care, buddy.
Take care. Bye.
See you. Bye. All right, man. Let's see. Dennis, a Mizzou fan, man. It almost scared me there. You got to take it when you can get it, man, because it's 10 years between rankings for us. So another good show, Scott. How about that? It was a Scotty G hour.
That was fun, man. Old fashions, Alani. We talked to Tom taking like the ship from me. He's going to be a guest, on a future show. All sorts of great calls today. Loved it.
So you're going in 20 days to Alani, man. You're
20 days.
Ticking. Man.
I know, man. I'm freaking out. Like I feel like I don't have enough planned, but I don't think you need to have enough planned, right? You just got to like kind of enjoy it. But like things like that. Like the ranch tour, things like that. I think like I want to look more into that to make sure I have some things like locked in, but just want to like
you've gone shopping, but I mean, you really don't need to go shopping for a resort, right? Because I mean, you're just really going to relax.
Just going to relax. I want to buy some new Aloha shirts. So that's like for prepping here at home. Like I want to make sure like
out there. I'd want to get them out there though. Maybe.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I might want to buy a couple Tommy Bahamas here in town too. Like I don't know. Well, that was a hack that Joe told me. He was like if you have a Costco membership, go to the Costco like in Honolulu or something. And he was like, I bought a bunch of Aloha shirts there or something.
I didn't think of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, we don't have one of those. But yeah, see, I'd want to get mine in Hawaii so I could come home and be like,
That's the thing. I'm gonna book. I have to bring like 2 suitcases of extra stuff
totally.
because in our early days of like Disney trips, like I always brought souvenirs for like my parents, my brother, Liz's parents, like coworkers, and like I've kind of gotten away from that a little bit because like we go so much. But like this is a first time to Hawaii, man. This is like so exciting. I feel like I got to bring back a souvenir for every single person I know.
Okay, you gotta bring back like I don't know. I don't even know what you get out there. I mean, Lays. I mean, that'd be a good thing because they like pack down probably easy. I mean, not like real Lays, just like plastic Lays or what. I don't know, dude. I don't know what you do.
I'm gonna want to buy everything. That's what I'm afraid of.
Because you like the Hawaiian you like the really nice like Hawaiian style shirts, and I'm just saying like this is what an opportunity to get real ones in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get them all.
I just gotta make sure I go to the real ones, not like some fake scammer.
I don't even know. Look at Wade's already on his way. He's in LA. He's halfway.
I know he's got business, and then that's all right, Wade. I'm not as jealous this time because I'm right behind you. So
he's just getting it ready for you. That's all it is.
Yeah, he's gonna be on a different island though, but that's all good.
Oh man, you guys are killing me. I'm excited for it. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun to talk about, and I can't wait to FaceTime.
That's all I'm gonna be talking about the next 20 days. Just so get ready for like all the gifts I send you are gonna be like the Brady Bunch in Hawaii, things like that. It's all gonna be Hawaiian related going forward.
Dude, don't pick up the little voodoo necklace or whatever. Wasn't that in Hawaii? Don't pick it up or put it on. There's from there. That's bad mojo. And Nicole says, get these cinnamon macadamia nuts.
Or don't go like the timeshare sale, like in
Carly. Yeah, don't do that, dude.
See, I gotta watch that episode before we leave for sure. Now
you watch that on the plane.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so funny. Okay, we gotta roll. This show's going way long, but man, good stuff. Thanks, Scott. Ton of fun tonight.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun, Mike. Thanks for having me, and can't wait to do it next time.
We will. All right, don't forget our show is brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney vacation this week. Just swing by the website over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link, brspodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons who allow us to do these shows 4 times a week. It's because of your support, and our patrons get that bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come on over and join us. Starting at just $5 per month, 1 coffee, basically. Come on over, patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Give Scott a follow because it's going to be lit this month at Epscott, EPSCOT. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. Not quite as lit, mostly football, some Disney, lots of fun. Instagram, Twitter/X, and Threads. And of course, Sunday nights, we're always live, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Love our shows this week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So please do subscribe. And if you have it in your heart this week, please give us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. That really does help support us. So if you have a few minutes, please do that this week. All right, we'll be back again next Sunday Night Live, and Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Like I said, we'll have the shows on the feed. So please download and subscribe. So for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
When you were like, next Sunday Night Live, I was like, live from Missouri. It's Sunday night.
Monday night. And Carrie Underwood's like on my TV right now, dancing, doing her Sunday night show thing for football. Yeah. Who's on tonight? Oh, the Raiders.
Raiders, Steelers?
Yep. Steelers. Yep. I guess they're playing in Vegas.
That is in Vegas, yeah.
I want to see that. So when I flew through Vegas, that football stadium looks small, for at least from the plane.
Does it? Okay.
Well, that's from the plane, though. Anyway, all right. Well, so did you have dinner yet?
I have not. I just heard the teenagers and Liz just walk in the door. So curious what they got.
You're having pizza. Probably having pizza.
Well, one of them is like very allergy, so she actually brought her own food with her, which is kind of awesome, you know.
That is awesome.
So there's this taco place that we really like called Tacos and Mas. I don't know if any local people listen to this, but you know what I'm talking about. Tacos and Mas is like legit awesome. So, and like this girl has only ever had tacos and mas when she stayed the night. So I'm guessing that's where they went, just because that's the only time she ever has is with us.
Sounds good to me. I could do some tacos and mas because at Taco Bell, which not as good, I'm sure.
So if there are, I'll send you a photo of these tacos, man. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna tease you, man. They're so awesome.
Oh my gosh. All right, I'll put out the text. I don't know if Ricky's available or not tomorrow night.
Okay.
Or who knows?
Okay. I'm trying to think tomorrow. There's a band thing. Like we got to go to Noodles and Company tomorrow because they're raising money, like all the proceeds. But I think we can do that up to like 8 o'clock, so I should be able to go. So
we can get it done quick if we have to.
yeah,
All
sounds
right.
good.
All right. Thanks, buddy. See you.
Yep, see you. Have a good night, everyone.
All right. See you.